Hey everyone. So one of the things we practice at our house is the idea of first thoughts, second thoughts, and third thoughts. I believe this comes from Terry Pratchett because that's rad. And this is something Zena's pushed for as a system of reflection. And I wanted to just talk real quickly about the Charlie Kirk-Vaush debate. I'm going to make this as quick as possible because I don't think more time needs to be wasted on it, but I do think I want to get my thoughts out more clearly now that I'm not in the afterglow of drinking and, you know, looking at that jacket. Holy shit, the drip. True, Emily. So here's the thing. Within the left, there is a debate that has gone on for quite some time since the advent of YouTube and Twitch debates arose in the last, 7, 8 years? And that debate has never changed. Much like the Kink at Pride one, it comes up ever so often, rears its ugly head, and we have to kind of face it again. And again, much like Kink at Pride, it's a complicated situation with a lot of moving parts, and it makes it really difficult to talk about. The debate is that, do you platform or do you debate Nazis? And I know Nazi is reductive here. We're talking about Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's a conservative. I would argue there's not a difference, but for some people that difference is meaningful. To me it's not, but whatever, I'll be nice today. My take is that we're kind of stuck in a conundrum. That being is that if the left doesn't debate these people, we unfortunately cede territory to them. Regardless of size or situation, anyone who looks back at YouTube circa 2014 through 2016 remembers the age of the anti-SJW. They remember the age of hating on Anita Sarkeesian. They remember, Thunderfoot losing his shit every 20 minutes, or the quartering flipping out about Brie Larson shortly later. That's literally how the whole site was, for the most part. And so the problem is that there's a truth to that. It wasn't until BreadTube and then debates that we are able to push back and actually have more robust conversations and more teachings, right? People like, God, I mean, a lot of the big names, Sean, Destiny, obviously Vaush didn't even exist back then. Numerous different people like this. This was still a thing where we really hadn't had any of that. In fact, the first people that really pushed back on these idiots were, one, H-Bomber Guy, if you'll remember his attacks on the alt-right. Wonderful videos, go back and watch them. And ContraPoints. Back when, she was pretending to be a alcoholic ex-philosopher. I guess not really offending, but gender change. And the fact is that them doing things like decrypting the alt-right or talking about degeneracy or pushing back on the whole beta cuck, soy boy thing really did a number on these people, because what happened was it was the first time people, in my opinion, started pushing back and actually having an effect. H-Bomber Guy got it right. Much like Jojo Rabbit, H-Bomber Guy just made fun of these people. And I think there's power in that. The problem is, excuse me, I had something in my teeth. The problem is that we... Yeah, I said Contra too. I already said Contra, Brittany. Calm down. Literally mentioned the degeneracy video. Listen, ADHD's a bitch, I know. The simple fact is this, is that, yes, Tiamat, the producers is a good example as well, Jojo Rabbit, you mock Nazis, you attack Nazis, you make fun of them, and H-Bomber Guy did it in a way that was self-deprecating enough to be unassuming, but did it in a way that really tore apart their arguments and kind of put them on blast. Like, Sargon of Akkad can basically be said to have been partially eroded out of existence because of H-Bomber Guy. The reason why he doesn't have more pull and more power on the platform is literally because of that one man. And then you had the rise of like, Natalie transitioning, you had Philosophy Tube, you had all of these different people, plus you had, debaters, you have Vosh eventually appear. You have all these people who started taking back the space. Now here's where the conundrum is. While YouTube is a little bit of a friendlier place than it used to be, it still has a lot of problems. And one of the big, big problems with the situation is that whenever we're talking about this, we get into an issue. When you are debating or showing these people, there's always a risk that you're platforming them. There's always a risk that you're exposing people to them like a fucking virus. And you can say that platforming is about sizes, but it's really not. Platforming is actually about exposure. Right? No, it doesn't do shit to protect people, Ash. But the issue is that just like someone can go on and debate a conservative or a Nazi and hopefully bring people over, there's just as much a likelihood that that person, that Nazi, if they're actually coherent enough or they are good enough at emotional rhetoric, can move someone right. In fact, I was actually just having a debate with one of my dear friends, Bimbo Politics on Twitter, that this is actually a problem. We've seen data on this, that you can move people over. You can't convince the Nazi themselves. They're part of a fucking cult. Now, arguably, you could move over their fans, their audience, because if you appear strong enough and you appear devastating enough, you can actually shift them over, but they have the same capability. So it's only worth doing debates when we can win. Yeah, Jimmy Snow literally created Paul and Morgan. No one would know who those two fucking idiots are if Jimmy Snow hadn't harped on them and got them an audience. And the problem is I don't have a good answer on this one. The best I've been able to come up with is you take debates infrequently, you take them when you know you can win them, and you try to go against the loudest voices to attempt to push back on some of their influence. You deplatform the rest. That's the best compromise I've been able to come up with. So how this relates to the Charlie Kirk-Vosh debate is that arguably Charlie Kirk is much more well-known than Vosh, and so is Tim Pool. So from a numbers perspective, we can't really say that he platformed them, more like they platformed him. As far as Vosh's performance, that's where things get complicated. There's areas that I think he genuinely ceded in the critical race theory debate. There are areas that he kind of gave up on as an attempt to be more amicable and try to pull over things. And it did shift the discussion into a much more teacher-student relationship. I don't know if you noticed that, but that's been a critique I've seen a lot of people giving. And after I thought about it, it seems right. Right? Vosh basically, at one point, was just kind of instructing them. But that took a lot of work and a lot of concessions. It also took a lot of times of like accepting Charlie Kirk's basic lies, including issues around when slavery ended in certain states or anything like that. It requires that kind of seeding of the topicality, and that's where things get really complicated. Do I think that Vosh won? I do. Do I think it matters? I don't know. My hope is that people will move over from Tim Pool and actually give Vosh a shot, especially now that he's been on there a couple times, and hopefully move further left. We know this can work to varying degrees, unfortunately, right? Like, Hunter Avalon has clearly moved further left. Shoes and Nosball Vortex in high heels. And, I just got done watching a TJ Kirk discussion done by the Tabernacle, and yeah, apparently his views have never really changed. They've just always had some left-leaning, but he sucks at race discussions, so go off. Someone on the Vosh subreddit was whining about it. Well, Emily says, exposure and desensitization, not the same thing. Hard, but important. Yeah, no, I think so. I think you can do exposure in a way where you can inoculate someone from an idea, but it takes skill. And so, yeah, no, he did grow a lot in that debate. That's true. The Social Blade does show that. So what I will say is that my take is that Vosh won. I also think there needs to be this constant tension between do we do this or don't we? The data's pretty clear that we're never going to move over the Nazi. The person we're arguing with is never going to be moved over on this stuff. But the audience, it's possible. If there's some of the people that are moderates, some of the people that are libs that haven't quite fallen down the pipeline, we definitely can have an effect. But this is one of the reasons why I don't engage with debating, is not because I don't think it's a good thing to do, but because I don't think I'm skilled enough to be of use in that arena. I'll leave that to someone like Vosh or Demon Mama. So yeah, those are some of my second thoughts on the Vosh-Charlie Kirk debate. Yeah, I guess we can leave that here. But yeah, hopefully that made some sense. It was a little rambly, but all right, love you guys. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. You can also ring the bell if you want to be notified of our videos. If you want to help the channel, you can donate at streamlabs.com/transgirltherapist/tip. You also can become a patron at patreon.com/transgirltherapist. As low as $3, you can support our channel. Thanks for watching.